Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're breaking down the absolute chaos behind two mind-bending futuristic gadgets. We're going to dig into exactly how they work, their unbreakable rules, and the hilarious disasters that happen when someone tries to cut corners. So have you ever wanted to just skip doing your homework? Or maybe you're staring down a long walk and thinking, nope, not today. We've all been there, right? That universally relatable desire to avoid chores, dodge a massive assignment, or just teleport so you don't have to move your legs. Well, the two gadgets we're unpacking today were literally designed to solve these exact problems. But as you'll see, taking the easy way out comes with a pretty chaotic set of rules. Okay, let's dive into gadget number one, the Rapper Taxi. The story kicks off with Nobita facing a very serious, very relatable dilemma. Motoyama has brand new comic books, but Nobita is just way too lazy to walk over there. Enter Doraemon, who pulls out what looks like a totally ordinary piece of trash. But the Rapper Taxi isn't a car. It looks exactly like a discarded candy wrapper, yet it holds a terrifyingly absolute power. Here is the magic rule. Anyone who steps on this wrapper instantly becomes an unconditionally obedient driver for the person who dropped it, the passenger. The driver has literally zero choice in the matter. Their body is physically compelled to carry the passenger wherever they want to go. So how do you actually operate this bizarre piece of tech? It's a simple four-step process. Step 1, you drop the wrapper on the ground. Step 2, you just wait for an unsuspecting victim to step on it. Boom, instantly they are compelled to lift you up. Step 3, as the passenger, you have total control. You just shout out commands like left, right, or faster. And finally, step 4, and this is absolutely crucial, the driver is completely trapped until the passenger says the magic release words, "Drop me." Until those exact words leave your mouth, the spell cannot be broken. Nobita, being Nobita, instantly decides to test this out. He drops it right in the middle of his room, and poor Doraemon steps on it. Suddenly, Doraemon finds himself hoisting Nobita up into the air. He's totally confused, asking why he's lifting him, and Nobita triumphantly yells, "I'm not lifting you. You became my driver. Walk towards the door." The irony here is just fantastic. Doraemon tries to argue, but his own body automatically marches toward the door. The gadget's rules are absolute. Now, this gadget creates a massive power imbalance. On one side, the passenger has total dictatorial control over speed and direction. On the other side, the driver is physically compelled to obey literally any customer request, no matter how ridiculous. After a failed attempt where Shizuka steps on it but physically isn't strong enough to carry him, Nobita realizes he needs someone with a bit more muscle, and oh boy, does he find someone. Enter Gian. He accidentally steps on the wrapper and immediately hoists Nobita onto his back. At first, Gian is furious. He's yelling, "Stop joking, why would I listen to you?" But then, the terrifying realization sets in. He physically cannot put Nobita down. The magic of the Rapper Taxi completely overrides his own willpower. The toughest guy in the neighborhood has magically become Nobita's personal, helpless chauffeur. And this is exactly where Nobita's hubris takes over. Having absolute power over his bully goes straight to his head, and he completely abuses the gadget's rules to humiliate John. First, he forces John to run in the exact opposite direction of where they actually need to go. Then, when they spot Sunyo looking for a lost ball, Nobita makes John act like a retriever dog to fetch it. He even makes John do delivery errands for John's own mother, all while riding on his back. And the kicker? Nobita stubbornly refuses to say the release words, basically vowing to keep John as his driver forever. But you know how it goes. Absolute power leads to an absolute downfall. Nobita gets way too arrogant. While ordering Gion around outside his house, Nobita yells at Jaiko to come downstairs. But in doing so, he uses the exact phrasing of the release command, yelling "drop down." Instantly, the gadget registers the command. The spell breaks, Gion drops Nobita, the realization hits, and a furious, newly freed Gion immediately starts chasing a terrified Nobita down the street. The gadget worked flawlessly, but user error completely ruined it all. All right, let's pivot to gadget number 2, the Anytime Anywhere sketch. Now, this adventure starts when Nobita is looking for a shortcut on his simple sketching assignment. But before we get to how Nobita misuses it, let's look at its incredible intended purpose. The Anytime Anywhere sketch is no ordinary camera. It's a device equipped with complex dials that can view absolutely any location across any point in time and automatically print out a perfect, highly detailed sketch of that exact moment. It is literally the ultimate historical observation tool. And it just so happens that Nobita's dad and uncle urgently need a history lesson. The whole thing revolves around a 30-year-old family mystery. Nobita's dad and uncle are in the middle of a massive argument. They're trying to draw a map of what their town looked like when they were kids, 30 years ago. But they cannot agree on the layout. Both of them are being incredibly stubborn, dragging up old childhood grievances and accusing each other of lying and just having a terrible memory. Here's where the memories clash. Dad firmly remembers the street order as the barbershop first, then the stamp shop, and finally the bookstore. But the uncle vehemently argues that it was the stamp shop first, then the barbershop, and then the bookstore. They are totally deadlocked. Human memory is totally flawed, and neither brother is willing to back down. To finally settle this, Doraemon pulls out the Anytime, Anywhere sketch. Let's trace the flow of time here. We start in the present day with this heated argument. Doraemon sets the gadget's time dials back exactly 30 years and zooms in on the specific street in question. The gadget takes a snapshot from 3 decades ago and instantly prints a perfect, indisputable sketch. This brings us right back to the present day, where physical evidence forces a much-needed apology. And here comes the twist. The printed sketch reveals the absolute truth. The street actually started with a canteen, then the stamp shop, then the bookstore, and finally the barber shop. That's right, both dad and uncle were entirely incorrect. Their beloved, rock-solid childhood memories were both completely wrong. The gadget flawlessly proved its utility by solving a decades-old dispute in seconds. But of course, Nobita was watching this whole thing unfold. Seeing just how perfect these sketches are, Nobita decides to use this to cheat on his homework. He comes up with what he thinks is a flawless cheat code. Step 1, steal the gadget while Doraemon isn't looking. Step 2, target his friend Shizuka to make a beautiful, effortless portrait. Step 3, and here is where the arrogance kicks in again, he starts wildly messing with the complex time and location dials without having a clue how they actually work. Step 4, he hits print and proudly grabs the sketch without even looking at it to verify the result. Well, because he completely messed up the dials, his first attempt doesn't target his friend at all. It targets his own house. He looks at the printout and actually catches his mother in the act yelling, "Mom, this is wrong. You are secretly eating alone." He somehow managed to print a highly detailed sketch of his mom secretly snacking when she wasn't supposed to be. It's a hilarious mishap that proves he really has no idea how to aim this powerful piece of temporal tech. But does Nobita learn his lesson? Nope. He tweaks the dials again, assuming he's finally locked onto Shizuka. He hits print, grabs the sketch, and runs straight to the park where all his friends, who, by the way, have been working really hard on their own drawings, are waiting. Nobita, overflowing with confidence, presents his unverified sketch to everyone. And it is an epic fail. He blindly shows off a sketch that is incredibly embarrassing, instantly securing his own doom as his friends just stare in absolute shock. Once again, trying to cheat the system using a powerful gadget completely backfired, all because of his own laziness. And that brings us to the end of our breakdown. We've seen the absolute, physically binding rules of the Rapper Taxi and the memory-shattering, time-traveling power of the Anytime, Anywhere sketch. Both gadgets offer incredible shortcuts, but as we saw, human error and plain old arrogance turn them into pure chaos. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Between forcing your local bully to be your personal taxi or printing flawless sketches of secrets from the past, which gadget would you choose? Think about the rules, think about the risks, and what you would honestly do with that kind of power. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning how things work.